like, are you?
Maybe he's just got that weird anime growth. You know what I mean?
I mean, you got to if you just all of a sudden up and you go from 6 to 12 or 13, 14, or it might be
He's
like
he's
the
definitely a fucking teenager, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Irbal Sinergy, the shop. I'm your host, Sinji. With me, my co-host, as always, Irby.
What's up, listeners? How y'all doing?
We're doing fine, Irby. How are you?
Okay, enough with the peanut gallery.
Damn, bro, like that?
Nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
Ha!
nah. Yeah. So what's cracking? You got a flavor for the week?
I do is coming out of Bungle Stray Dogs, and you know what? It's that whole last episode. I don't even got a specific moment. All of it was great.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't watched that in a little while. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with something out of Vinland Saga this week.
Ooh.
It's gonna be when Askeladd threw his axe and like cut through like 5 different people. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Was that Aslad?
I thought it was. His hair just was a little longer.
I didn't think it was him, but it might have been him.
Yeah.
That was a
Someone.
phenomenal throw.
Yeah, cut the dude's head off, then cut someone's arm, and then hit someone in the chest and then the shoulder, and I was like, oh man. That's crazy. But it worked out for him.
It was a great throw.
It was very great. But yeah, other than that, yeah, don't really have too much. I do like the direction the new show I picked is going in.
Oh yeah, Doug. That
Seems like it's promising.
that had an interesting turn of events at the end.
I don't remember the end.
What do you mean you don't remember the end?
I forget.
Nah, you didn't.
Interesting turn of events.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll talk about it later. But
Yeah.
which would you like to get started on?
Sure. Episode 4 of Liar Liar, Chocolate and the Devil.
Devil fruits.
We start off the episode. Devil fruits? No, we don't start off with devil fruits. That's a wrong anime, Irby.
Devil fruits make you toot, baby.
No, they make you drown.
That too.
Yeah.
That too.
We start off the episode with Ichinose and Shidoyuki bickering back and forth, and apparently Hidito is now a 2-star because that guy that he beat, Kugasaki, apparently had the Indigo Star. What's up?
Kurosaki.
No, Kugasaki.
Yeah, I know. I was just being silly.
Kugasaki. He apparently had the Indigo Star, which, not that we bring it up, I don't think the Indigo Star's ability was revealed. Was it, or is it the Black Queen?
I think it's just the Black Queen. I think that's his star.
Okay, because I don't even think it was used once this episode.
Yeah, he probably doesn't even know how to use it. He's just relying on the cheap tricks and thrills and his peoples.
Yeah, but my man got access to 2-star abilities now, so he could cheat with better abilities.
Yeah, better abilities.
Announced this episode was the coming of a elimination battle where anyone can challenge anyone with no stars on the line. Doesn't matter. It's all to select the top 5 representatives of the school. And while Hidito was sitting with Shidoyuki outside, a girl named Noah, who is very, very, very conceited, approached and was like getting all touchy, flirty. Got my girl Shidoyuki a little jealous, and For a moment I thought like, oh, maybe she's like getting upset because she wants to protect Hidito and Rina, but nah. The more you watch, the more it seemed like Shiroyuki kind of has a thing for Hidito Shinohara.
Yeah.
But Noah was starting to reveal her intentions a little bit, and she was shut down. So she went away. Not uh, her like happy-go-lucky stuff. And excuse me. She where was I? He was had four. Okay, so Noah went off into the little sunset, and Shiroyuki was a little jealous. Um, Shiroyuki was helping Hiruto like hide once class was over because like everyone was trying to challenge him being the top, a 7 star, and like there were not being any penalty for like losing to him. So Hidito has a meeting with Ichinose, and like she did him a favor by getting Shido Yuki into his class because she transferred in his class because she interfered with the last battle and they had to make it make sense. So like the cover story was she was transferring in class, but since Ichinose helped Hidito and Shido Yuki, she was requesting something he had to do anyway because honestly we all know that since Hideo can only get color stars, the obvious goal to get all 7 stars is to get all 7 colors. So she was saying
Rainbow.
yes. She was saying the green star was stolen, so she needs Hiruto to participate in this tournament, eliminate as many people as he can, and unveil who the culprit is, and then claim the green star for himself. I think it's kind of a little. It's interesting we're bringing up another color star right away after we just gain a color star without even putting the indigo star to good use. We're already trying to make a play for the green one, but that's fine.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I think it's the Indigo Star might not be his play style.
yeah, no, but at least it gets them access to better stuff. Um, one moment after class, they were chasing our our maid and our protagonist, and she went into a classroom and like threw herself over him. They were hiding, and they escaped that time. Then they were running outside, and it looks like Noah came out of nowhere. She looks like she's been tracking him because it seems like she rigged it so that he couldn't appear. Because they were doing a bug thing where like they were glitching out his phone so people couldn't send him requests. But she
Yeah,
seemed like she interfered with that. So while they were running, she ran into him and like got herself tied up under him and like was trying to play it off like, oh, why are you on top of me making your trying to like cop a feel? And like he's trying to escape, but
she definitely had him in the vice grip. I was like, it's like, really?
yeah.
What's your angle, woman?
Yeah. So the getaway plan from there was to have Shido Yuki send him a challenge that he accepted. So now they had to play each other eventually. We met Kaguya, who to Hidito was a babe, but she's a little weird in my part, on my end.
Are you
Did
talking about the computer lady?
Yeah, have you noticed that Shido Yuki it sounds like not Rem, the pink
Yeah,
hair one from
one of them.
ReZero.
Yeah, there's a lot of voices that I'd be like, oh, you sound familiar.
It was just because she was playing the maid role and she was talking exactly the same. That's the only reason I noticed. And I was
I
just like,
noticed
"What?
that
Who's
one
that
early
sound
on.
like?" And then I said Baryu in my head. And I was like, ReZero.
Yeah,
So now I gotta watch in Japanese.
why you have to watch it Japanese?
I don't like recognizing people.
That's
I
crazy.
like to think there's a million different voice actors just doing all these animes.
No, they all just get recycled.
I know.
They
But
all just get recycled.
so they were having dinner, and they had a moment where Shiroyuki was asking, "Is it really okay to take a shower before you?" And he was like, "Yeah, you can't very well put your maid costume, maid outfit, while when you've sweated and whatnot." So when they're preparing dinner, they're eating, or they wanted to eat, and she was out of the stuff she wanted to make, and he was just saying, "Just use this," and it was like, "No, you and I," or something along the lines of like, "You like this, so this is what you're gonna get. I'm gonna go to the store real quick." And from right there, it was just like, "Ooh, going to the store late at night, conveniently ran out of ingredient. We're not gonna see. She's not gonna show up on time." Some time goes by, and Shiryuki's not coming up. Turns out it was another setup by Noah. She's standing on a rooftop, and she's like, "It looks like I won't be able to lose to you." And I'm not really sure what the game plan here is for Noah, but right now Noah has Shiroyuki on top of a building, and Hirato has to come up with a plan to turn this situation around next episode.
Yeah. I'm like, man, that's terrible.
Is
Mm-mm.
it?
It is. Everyone was going to go after him just because there's no repercussions for them, losing to him. So it was
True.
all good. Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. So, all right, let's get into the new show. The new show I picked out was Reign of the Seven Spellblades. And yeah, I saw this. It came through on a little thing. I was like, oh man, this looks kind of cool. So I was like, yeah, let me check this out. Fairly new. So season one, episode one, Kimberly Magic Academy.
The
So
Magic Academy.
yeah, so without further ado, they there's only 20% of the kids are gonna make it from the school, and I'm like, huh, that's a low graduation success rate. I guess children are left behind. Joke
I
right
was like
there.
wondering if you were trying to like, did you want me to set that up?
I thought you would have did it.
Oh
Little
no,
little
I'm on it now. Now that I was like, that's clearly a setup. The pause, and I just didn't know he won. I think he was. I'm on it. I'm
something
with it
there.
now. I got
There's
you.
something there.
I
But
got you. I
anyhow,
got you.
yeah. So the main character, don't know his name at this point. Um, which I found it was awfully odd to go three-fourths of the way through the show without knowing anyone's name. Don't you think that was odd?
Um, no, actually, not really. I wasn't really paying attention because usually I don't know anyone's name anyway.
Yeah, because I was like, bro, everyone's talking to each other, but like no one's using any names or not like, hey, you can call me this. I'm like, come on, how do I know anyone? So I just referred to them as their colored hair until I
The black
found out their
hair
names.
one, which seems to be the
Yes,
main character.
the main character boy is mesmerized by the female samurai student. He for some reason he thinks it's like fate or destiny or something that they're together.
That threw me off at first because I was just like, wait, but the girl you were fighting in your head had white hair.
Yeah. So so then they attend the parade, and the strawberry blonde girl is upset about the troll marching. They're like, he shouldn't be there. They don't understand our language anyway. And this, that, and the other. She's throwing a little hissy fit, which I'm like, good for her. She cares about the well being of other folks. That'll get you killed in animes, though. So you might want to watch out.
She might want to watch out.
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting that someone cast a spell on her legs to make her run towards the troll. I'm like, what purpose did that whole thing serve? Which it was a lady in the hood, and I was like, huh, lady in the hood. That's never good for anything. Yeah, so they run to the troll, and the samurai shows up, and she essentially just yells at it. I'm like, oh, okay. She's using observation hockey. Interesting. And so they start fighting. No, you're way too late. I did already moved on 3 sentences.
That was worth it.
No, you gotta keep up, my guy.
I
And
was writing
so,
notes.
hey, time for notes is over, baby. Yeah.
Carry on, my wayward son.
So yeah, so then they start fighting, and they do. I kind of want to know the hierarchy of what magic beats what magic, because I'm like, how you just do a whole bunch of wind, and then you did a whole little tap on spell, and you made like a dragon's cry. I was like, that's weird. So they use that, and then her hair changes colors, and she like hits the troll on top of the head, knocks it out, doesn't just slice it. I'm like, huh. Some samurai she is. She's supposed to be able to cleave things in half. But so that happens. But yeah, the the main character boy, he says, "Oh, it's an innocence color, meaning she has powerful mana and circulation." I'm like, "Oh, this is interesting." And also,
Mm-hmm.
let's just talk about how it takes 7 years to graduate from this place. I'm like, man,
Hey, magic school might be lit though.
it might be. I don't know, but 7 years?
I listen. I'm just saying. As far as I know, the only rule is survive.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much life and death. I feel like they're going to be put in situations that will test their magical abilities, and if they fail with their abilities, they die, or they succumb to, I forget what they called it, but they succumb to something, and they end up like getting put to death just because they can't handle it, or they just die anyway. So they go to the assembly hall, and finally they start introducing folks at the little dinner banquet. We get the blonde haired woman, our girl. Her name's Michelle McFarlane. They call her Shelly for short. And then yeah, she's a noble person, I believe, kind of sort of something, a status prestige person. Then we get to
Goldilocks,
start.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get to the strawberry lady. Her name is Katie Ayalto. She's an exchange student. The dark red haired boy is Guy Greenwood, kind of like Mike Guy.
Might
He's
guy.
yeah, he's a magic farmer. Uh, the white hair is Pete Reston. He's Muggle born, which I thought was interesting. Non magical parents, and he entered the academy as an ordinary, but they don't tell you what an ordinary is as right now. So I'm kind of curious what that entails. So I'm pretty sure his path was way different than everyone else's to get there.
Yeah, he's got a wall up.
Yeah, definitely got a wall up. But I did love how that when the dark haired one started talking about the book that he was reading, he was like, "Oh my God, yeah, this, that, and the chapter between this." Like he just started gushing because he just loved what the book was about and represented.
I thought.
So
I thought. Main guy was gonna be like, nah, I actually didn't.
yeah,
I
like
actually didn't
he,
read it.
yeah, I thought it was gonna be one of those ones where he does something where he's like, "Oh yeah, this," and to get you to talk, it's like, "Yeah, I didn't actually read it, but good to know you're passionate about something." But yeah, Pete didn't care to make friends. So, and then we finally get to the black-haired one, Oliver Horn, and doesn't say much about him, his family, brother, sister, you know. And then we get to the samurai, the Nao Kibiya. She was saved by a passing mage in the middle of a war, and turns out the mage was
Goldilocks dad.
Shella's, yeah, Shella's father. And she didn't have to take an entrance exam or anything, but she got special recommendation from her father to join the academy. So yeah, that was nice.
Pete was a
And
little jealous.
He was. He's like, oh, that must be nice to have someone. But yeah, you win some, you lose some, Pete. The world ain't fair, my guy.
Nope. Just be glad you got in.
Yeah, and so then they eat, and then they get back to their rooms, and Oliver's going to do some investigating because he sends like a presence. It turns out his brother has sent someone to overwatch him, and
See,
her name is, yeah,
now that's
Teresa
that.
Kirsty.
Yeah, that's where I was just like, it interesting turn because this guy who seemed so like easygoing and like lighthearted was like serving people food and like, hey, you have to eat more vegetables in your diet. And he even went as far as to like tuck in Pete because he ended up stuck with Pete as a roommate. Well, we're going perspective, Pete ended up stuck with him, but he was probably the best one for get stuck with on Pete's side. And then it was just like he just kind of had anti-hero energy with on him, like talking to that person watching him, like
Yeah,
almost like he's wearing a mask. He's wearing a kind-hearted mask, but like if push comes to shove, this motherfucker might be brutal.
yeah, it's quite the possibility. So I was like, oh man, yeah. So and then now it appears that she's bathing in the fountain, but turns out she's doing a purification ritual because she has to wash off the blood from all the folks that she murdered. So, but Oliver says she can never wash off the blood because I still smell it, which leads me to believe that he's stronger than what it is. Or have you seen that one, like the Ice Blade Sorcerer one?
I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay, yeah, that's one I watched, and yeah, I ain't gonna say too much because you might end up watching it because it's a nice one.
Oh, yeah. It's in. There's so many things on my list right now. It's just like I want to watch more. Like I'm keeping up with like two or three, maybe like two or three that I watch as they come out,
Yeah,
and then like the rest of the time I'm playing games. So like you don't want to watch anything new while you're playing games that might be interesting. You know what I mean?
now I watch everything new when I'm playing games.
You wild.
I'm a wild boy. You know this, ballin',
We
shawty. Right.
fly.
But yeah, so I'm excited to see where it's gonna go. It should be better than I think it might be better than what I previously recommended for some shows. So we'll see.
Well, we'll find out. Let's hope this is not like build letdown.
Yeah, I can't sit through another 8 episodes of terrible TV-age. Cause I'm like, man,
How dare
you
you?
gotta be kidding me. I mean, I did sit through like
Nah,
800
I can't.
episodes of terrible stuff.
I can't believe we finished. We finished Kai.
Yeah, I can't believe it's not butter.
You want to throw in Jujutsu or should I go straight into Vinland?
We could go straight to Vinland and then get to the Jutsu afterwards.
Alrighty, Vinland Saga. Wrong one. Whoops. Episode 8, Beyond the Edge of the Sea. So, how fucking dare you?
Yeah, I had to do it.
So, Asta is on his way back to some village that know who they are. It seems like it's a base camp, and it looks like Asta's crew is also taking a break for the winter. And just judging by their conversation, they seem to go there every winter with their loot. And I guess that's why they raided the place first. They didn't have enough loot because when we meet Asla's uncle, the man was talking about money. Like the money is
Yeah,
going to cost
penny
to feed them.
pinching.
The money is going to
Yeah,
cost to take care of them, entertain them. I'm like, damn, you didn't see this man in 9 months.
yeah. Well, 12. Well, I don't know. It might be 9 because it depends on the calendar that they're using at the time.
Yeah, I'm just assuming winter for them is 3 months.
Yeah. I don't know. Also, the geographical location there, it might be longer or shorter. So I don't know. I don't know why you did crickets there.
Cuz,
Cause
bro, all this
it's some
scientific
truth.
shit. It's an anime. Leave me alone. I'm not trying to be educated.
Oh, that's how it be, dog. Those that don't get educated, try to learn something with your life.
Man said geological big word, big word. Who you trying to impress?
Nobody. I'm just speaking for my audience.
Nobody.
Yeah,
Oh,
genuine.
and okay, so Thorfinn getting off the ship, he bumped into someone who was like fantasizing about joining Askeladd's crew, and when like the dude tried to like step up to him, was like, "Yo, dude, watch where you go," and Thorfinn just gave him a look, and he was just like, "Oof," backed up real quick, and then Thorfinn stormed off. The
Yeah.
the girls in the village while Askeladd was seeing Gorm, his uncle, were lined up for jewelry, and all his uncle cared about was money. Um,
Hmm.
his uncle Gorm acquired a new slave who used to be royalty, and says she's pretty much useless. And Askeladd was like, "God, you just don't. Not no one's useless. You're just not using them correctly." But
Yeah.
it Askeladd told his uncle Gorm that like, "Hey, can you spectate a referee a duel? I have a duel at lunch." And like I don't know if people were serious, but a lot of people were cheering on Thorfinn. And when he came through, some of the girls started thinking he was cute, but one of the girls was just like, "Yeah, but Askeladd's got the money and he's strong. Yeah, let's stick with the strong rich guy."
Yeah. That's
And
what they do. Only like you for the money.
Astolat was trying to make small talk before the duel started, and Bjorn was saying that, or it might have been someone else, but they mentioned that Thorfinn is so stubborn. So I think the crew was hoping that Thorfinn would just like over time give up on the revenge and officially join the crew.
Nah. You slaughter my father. You can't.
Yeah, so Thorfinn attacked and didn't let up. He was just all in. Astolat sent him flying backwards with a wide swing, and Thorfinn like slowed himself down, and then like he went back in it. Thorfinn knocked Astolat's sword away, so Astolat tried to go for like Thorfinn's dagger. Thorfinn noticed, so he backed up. Astolat then picked up the sword again and started to like um and antagonize. Is that would that be the right word?
Yeah. I'll say
Antagonize Thorfinn.
antagonized them.
It was just yeah, like it was like you keep saying I killed your dad, but like, are you even sure it was me? What? How did he die? What did he look like? What was his name? Are you sure it wasn't someone else? And then Thorfinn was just like, he died because you used me as hostage and couldn't like keep your honor and blah blah blah. And I was like, oh yeah, him. So like Thorfinn finally, I thought. Here's what I thought before I continue on. I thought after years of being with this crew and holding on to this anger, he wouldn't succumb to rage. But no, Thorfinn succumbed to rage and gave Askeladd an easy open because he swung wide and Askeladd turned him on his ass, and the duel ended there.
Yeah.
Um, Askeladd won the duel, and it was time to eat and celebrate. Thorfinn didn't. One of the guys was supposed to switch with Thorfinn to watch the ships, but Thorfinn was sulking and didn't want to switch, so he stood on the ship. And Bjorn knows, he was just like, he's comfortable there because it was his dad's ship. Just leave him be. Um, Thorfinn starts seeing like his dad in a vision, and like his dad is basically saying like, I suppose there's no point in telling you not to avenge me. You are my kid, and you didn't listen before. You ain't gonna listen now. And Gorm, for some reason, sent Dorma to bring Thorfinn food, and she felt like she saw herself in him. And Thorfinn ruthlessly said, "I would never be a slave. I'm nothing like you." And proceeded to say, like, if I were you, I would kill Gorman and anyone who came after me after I tried to escape. And then she thought to herself, like, if she could set sail, where would she go? It'd be the same thing. So Thorfinn brought up the tale of Vinland as Leif told him, a place with no slaves or war. After that little moment, and me thinking for a moment that Thorma might be the love interest for Thorfinn, but Thorfinn might not have a love interest. It might just be straight killing from here to the end.
It's just straight on revenge.
Yeah. Winter is now over. The time skipped again. We've had several time skips. This one might be the last one. And it's time for the war to continue. Canute is a candidate for the king of the Vikings apparently, but like he has to prove himself in the battlefield. So the Vikings were moving along areas, invading areas smoothly until they reached the trading area of London, where I guess both armies intercepted each other, and we got to see someone. I don't think it was Askeladd, but someone threw an axe so well that like it cut someone's head off. I think it cut someone's arm off, and then like injured three more people. And then that was the end of the episode.
It was.
It was.
Yeah. I just want to talk about how they they talk about my boy. They said, "Oh, they make their way to a place like, oh, we haven't been here in a year." Last time I looked, when they picked up old boy Thorfinn, he was a little rascal. How's he looked like now he's like 12, 13, 14. So you tell me like 6 years went by and you haven't been that place for a year? So I'm like, what's going on here? Because I think they either mess up the time, and then I also was thinking like the girls in the village like didn't recognize Thorfinn from before, so I'm like, it must be like his first time there or something. Like I don't know, unless he was just gone for like 6 years, or unless he went there by himself. So I'm like, somewhere they messed up the time skip.
You know what? Now that you mention it, that makes perfect sense. Thorfinn looks like he aged at least a few years. Even Askeladd even asked, "How old are you now, Thorfinn?" But like they made it seem like they go there every year, yet people didn't recognize Thorfinn.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, the kid, like, yeah, I could be part of his crew, and this that, and the other. I'm like, what's the deal here? I'm like, are you?
Maybe he's just got that weird anime growth. You know what I mean?
I mean, you got to if you just all of a sudden up and you go from 6 to 12 or 13, 14, or it might be
He's
like
he's
the
definitely a fucking teenager, bro.
yeah, I would say he looked like a teenager, so I don't know. I'm
Well,
just like, yeah,
assuming he was with okay, all right. So nah, no, because like if they go there every year, then the maximum time between the last visit and the next visit would be 9 months. Even if they got him on the back end of the last winter, or yeah, the back end.
yeah. I don't know. I just was looking at it. I was like, something ain't right. Because it's like they got him late or something, or I don't know.
They
I'm
must
like,
have
man.
not gone. Like they must have not gone during the war. I don't know.
Or he just stayed on the ship the whole time.
I thought that
I
too, but
didn't leave
someone
it.
would have had to bring him food. So someone would have had to been curious about like why is someone always leaving with food and coming back?
Maybe I don't know. I'm just like, seems fishy here. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. That yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So I did think what else was funny, worth mentioning was how the slave hoarder drops some stuff and she's getting whipped, and Askeladd made the whole connection between her and like Thorfinn, and it's like, you're all a slave to somebody, and how his uncle is a slave to money, but he doesn't even realize he's a slave to money because he bought a slave to be bought a woman with money to be a slave, and he's just a slave to making more money. So it
But
comes full circle.
what was the connection to Thorfinn though?
Because Thorfinn's a slave to
Oh, to his
wanting to,
revenge.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like until you let it go, you're not really gonna prosper with that. So
Yeah, he was asking. Someone was asking why keep someone like him on the crew. And it's like he's a
yeah,
slave to the minds of the warrior. If he wants to kill me, he's gonna challenge me to a duel.
yeah, and he's like, he's not gonna kill me in my sleep because he's a warrior, and so, but yeah, Horta helped him put everything in perspective too. So yeah, it's a good chapter there. So on to Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh, this was a good chapter. So first time in Millennium, Sukuna is actually kind of shook, and Gojo has his attacks that he's doling out, and so he finally ends up landing. I think he hits the Magaraga, and then it looks like he does like a Vegeta attack where he just like blows himself up,
Mm-hmm.
but also blows up Sukuna. So I was like, oh, okay, this is some good stuff right here.
Yeah, Gojo went in this chapter.
Yeah. So I was like, man, can't wait to the next chapter. And so, yeah. And the last one,
That was it.
yeah, that was pretty much it for the
That was
Jujutsu
your.
Kaisen.
Yo, I felt like you just went from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, I mean, they fought in the middle, but just not really too much to talk about.
Well, it was kind of so like it was impressive, like the way he was maneuvering red and blue, because like blue was already up there in place, red waiting, and Sukuna didn't realize it. So then it was just like it became, oh shit, I can't let him make purple. Maharaga's already adjusted to red, I think it is. So take on that. So that's when purple came in, and then he used, or vice versa, and then he used the other color to fend off Sukuna, and then put it together, and then just blew himself up. And then like just to come out was like, oh, I guess that didn't hurt me as much because it's my cursed energy.
Yeah. And so
But Sukuna, him as
blew
look
his
rough.
blew his leg off, his lower leg off, and his arm. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
huh. But yeah, last but not the least, this is aristocrats' otherworldly adventure, serving gods who go too far. And then I became Lord of a Domain. Yeah. So it starts off. Dalmatia's fighting. Kyan shows up to fight Aaron. Seth is going to fight all the underlings so that Kyan can just worry about fighting the big boss man, the boss raid. Uh, so what made me kind of mad about this one was what's it? What's that? What's they got? Cade and all the other little people, his teachers, like, yeah, we gotta go help him. I'm like, well, y'all see that dragon? What y'all gonna do with that dragon? Y'all just gonna go
Nothing.
out there and get killed. I mean, I feel like there's a difference between optimism and like reckless abandonment, because that's exactly what y'all was doing. Y'all was gonna be food for fodder, pretty much, because yeah, those things are a whole different level. Like y'all had trouble with the horde. Like, what you gonna do against the dragon?
Terrible.
Yeah, I was like, come on, man. He's in a class of his own. Like, let that man work. Let him cook. So then we get to the four heavenly kings. They're summoned by Seth, and then we find out that Dalmatia was a legendary general. So yeah. So Aaron's game is to destroy all of the humans, and he wants to see, will all the monsters devour all the humans. And I was thinking here, like, all the monsters and creations are just his pawn pieces, because I think he just created monsters so that they could go kill humans. Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so and so I guess he couldn't be resurrected fully, so he borrowed the form of a dragon. And his friends and like the summons from those from Seth, they're taking care of the herd. He's fighting Aaron. And what made me really mad about this fight was my man used a red fireball to hit a dragon. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, he's a dragon. Like, why didn't you pull out the blue flame? Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm like, come on, man. You know this. Like, you're better than this. You pulled out the OP move when it didn't even matter, and you pull out a dinky move when it did matter.
Bro, this anime is just so inconsistent.
I'm like, come on, man. I would have pulled out purple fire and just
I was
shot
more mad
through.
about this anime than I was with how much Riverboy Peachside or Peach Boy Riverside kept bouncing around in timeline.
Yeah.
So at least things happened that made sense once, but like it was just in the wrong order. But like nothing here makes sense ever. It's always over the top, doing too much. Carry on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like it just made me. I'm like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? Mm-mm-mm.
Mm-mm-mm.
So, so his monsters. He summoned his monsters. They get wrecked, and he has an overload skill that he uses, and he shoots it at Aaron. And then essentially he's like, "Oh, the power of friendship. I'm gonna take my friend and this, that, and the other, and blah 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 blah." Blah," and shoots Aaron. I'm like, oh, this is just like fairy tale. And he essentially obliterates Aaron, and his summons have to like bite him, bring him back to reality. And he's like, where did the black dragon go? Who's right here? And they're like, man, you killed it. You killed it a while ago. Like you just shoot still for no reason. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, oh man. So then what happens? He meets with the king again, and they're like, "Oh, the pillar of light that you used before, like people saw it and was praying to it in town." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, had to use emperor level magic to defeat it." And honestly, I don't even think he needed that. I think he just needed to stop playing around and use his attack spells. And instead of use orange flame, use blue or purple one. But what do I know? I'm not a connoisseur or anything. But
It was just so.
yeah,
And the
gets
fact that
scolded
there
for going
seems
over
like
the
there's going to
top.
be a second season.
That's I was gonna get to that later, but boy, but yeah. So what else happened to yeah, he gets reprimanded for going over the top. He gets his own domain, and now he's like Cayenne von Silfert Dorenthal, and he has to go to Dorenthal to establish himself. And adventurers rule the hall, so he has to clear them out. He's like, I'm looking forward to having to fight them. When he first gets there, they spring their little attack. He defeats them. He starts cleaning up the riffraff. He got after some people that were mean to a waitress lady, and they arrest him, their own Baron. I'm like, huh. But what also made me mad is like the fight ended like 1/3 of the way through the show. I was like, oh, now I gotta watch this random cleanup of stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's like this makes no sense. I'm like, this all this randomness. I'm like, cause I was like, oh yeah, I was expecting there to be some more. I was expecting Aaron got out, but he went out like a sucker, boy. Um,
Man, listen.
yeah. So
I,
so
I
then
What's
mhm.
worse is I think he's gonna be the villain in next season too, because like he was only partially resurrected.
Yeah. So he may have something left, or like an Orochimaru, a Orochimaru effect where he can regenerate or something. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. But yeah. So then this part just makes no sense. Like, why is this even in here? The Prince of Darkness requests help from Cayenne because his wife found out about his infidelity, and I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, that's not fighting, that's not nothing. And then so he says like, yeah, you ought to be ashamed of yourself for having a lovely woman like that and doing that. And she's like, oh, Cayenne, yeah. And what was it, Telesta and Silk's there, and they're like, oh yeah, this, that, and the other. I'm like, man, listen,
But then she just
what's
takes
this
him
got to do
back.
with the thing? Yeah, like there's no lesson, there's no nothing. Like, I'm like, come on, what is this? Mm. And then my man is building a wall. And then he constructs a castle that's even more lavish than what the king resides in. And what really set me off was like, yeah, he says, oh, just have to wait for the rest of the story until next time. And I'm like, absolutely not. It's
No,
not going to be told on this podcast.
bro, like it's so sad that like something like this is gonna get a presumably gonna get another season, but like my boy Lloyd didn't. You know what I mean? ReZero didn't. I was just like,
Are
there's
we zero
so
and get another season?
ReZero didn't get another season.
Damn. I was looking forward to it.
Bro, I'm still looking forward to it. Come on, just come out of the blue. Just do a Hunter x Hunter. Just come out of nowhere. Do a Bleach. Just come out of nowhere. Just come out of retirement. Let's do this. It's
Is a ReZero a manga?
um. I would have to imagine with how popular it is, there's no other season because there's no more chapters in the manga. But I would have to check. There is a manga because I collected a couple of the chapters.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read. Just like I wish Talentless Nana would have got another season.
Bruh, like, what are
But
we
that one's
doing?
like,
The ones that I'm actually getting hype for are like not getting. Like Tomodachi Game, I would watch season 2.
would you now?
Yes, but it is what it is. I did.
Yeah,
It'd
I
be
was like
far fetched for me to call Kaim a good anime.
very far.
Like I would hope that one of you three would tell me I was writing my story that bad if I was.
Nah, dog, follow your dream, my guy.
Nah, man. Listen, some things shouldn't be done. Someone should have told that person, I don't know what you're doing. You know what would be even worse? You know what would be horrible? If the manga was nothing like that.
And the manga's way better.
And the manga was, we need
And it,
let's
it
let's find the manga and read like the first couple chapters.
and it pulls a Boruto.
Yo, I
Way
swear
more
to God,
interesting
bro.
reading than watching.
I will flip next episode if it was the animators production side that like made this horrible.
Yeah, because I'm like, good God, like I'm like, come on, man. Like you hit him with an orange fireball and you do a blue fireball for a dummy. Like, what are you doing, my guy? Bloody skies. Yeah.
I can't, whatever. All right, you got anything else?
No, I don't. That was it. That just travesty that happened there. Just I'm like, come on.
Well,
What's going on?
we're through it now. We're through it.
We are.
Guys, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed, you know what to do. We'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.